but Annie, Vi, Gwen, Blitzcrank, all going to be kind of trying to pile in there, catch out this Varus. And on the Renata is built to defend that dive.
But you have to push Kyle. He is posturing in a way where he is fishing for a hook. The damage is very serious. I'm a little bit worried for this BLG bot lane. There's the hook.
The hook on has to flash.
Yep, that's why I was worried.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Shanks is just dead. Base1 with a great gank. 3 camps
I think
into...
it's been truly incredible to see what he has been able to do. As Shanks in trouble.
Knight has the stun proc. Knight, so close with the auto. Shanks disintegrates the Knight. Burnt alive
Duo
in his...
from AL.
I'm honestly surprised. I was expecting Knight to just fully ult and commit to that play. Flandre, now the target of a dive.
No impale for Base1, but no flash for Flandre. It does have the ignite, will dash across with skip and slash. Needle works on, will take him down, but the bailout will bring him back. Meanwhile, on the bot side, we see a great dive onto Bin. AL answer back with a kill of their own, and On didn't come back to life.
Yeah, well played.
Tarzan walks away with a stolen red buff as Base1 secures the grubs on the top side of the map. But AL being proactive on the map, it really did feel like, based on how the laning phase was going, that things were just, oh, hang on a minute, Bin.
Bin jumping in onto Flandre here, puts down the grand challenge, and Base1's there to answer it. Flandre, no flash, no hope of surviving. Bin finds his vital.
This time it was matched, but not by the teleport. That give Bin a bit of an advantage, but he is potentially caught out.
Opts the riposte, has the flash, will flash and then bolt his way away, but the hook from Kyle finds his man, and now the chase continues. Hope opens up with the boomerang blades.
This will be the first dragon of the game. Earlier, Azel talked about how AL was a super grubs priority team, but they abandoned it in order to make sure they could make that effective dive onto Bin. He finds himself with a 1-2 scoreline, but still up 400 gold against Flandre.
Does have that gold lead, but in trouble is Knight.
Knight has to try and jump away with the perfect execution and will manage to escape. Has that R2 now, but no real way to use it. Dashes back to the safety of his tower. Base1 on an Elk here to try and protect. Ishtar's impact coming out. Good ultimate from Kyle to stop the channel, but the Impale cannot be stopped. Kyle pulled back and taken out by Elk.
Dying so that
his
mid lane
anything basically and ricochet through. So I feel like AL are set up for success.
On has the hostile takeover and he'll use it immediately. Ishtar's impact onto Tarzan, trying to use the shield to survive, but the cease and desist only going on to Elk won't be enough. Elk claims his 3rd kill of the game as Shanks will be able to secure the Scuttle Crab towards the top side. Base1 still chasing, flashing forward, and pulls Shanks back to the waiting arms of Knight. Shanks has to flash away, dodges the Impale, but Knight's on the chase. A perfect execution might be enough. Knight has to flash the wall. The chase continues. Kyle here once again to defend his mid lane at exhaust. Base1, Hope looking to open up. The stun from Shanks on across the wall won't have enough with the loyalty program. And Shanks will smoke Base1.
Cooldown of Shanks' Q that would have finished him off. Bin now supported by his team.
On the hunt coming out from Hope as they look to turn onto Base1. He's caught up. The needle works out from Flandre. And Base1 just went too deep to flash away from On. A rocket grab about to find him as AL find another kill.
Feels like a story of the series. A step too far by Base1. He overextends and AL are quick to collapse. Both these teams are ready to skirmish. And this time around, it's AL that get the better of the fight.
Tarzan having to flash the Chain of Corruption, turns it back around onto Elk, has that cease and desist and has his team collapsing, but is the shield enough? Meanwhile, Hope and On fighting down towards the bottom side. Shanks comes in with the Tibbers and will kill off Elk. On able to retreat. Bin trying to get onto Shanks, but Shanks uses the blast cone wisely to get himself over the wall.
Really well played there. Tarzan realizes, you know what, I can't get out from this situation. I just need to buy enough time for my mid laner to get over here to knock down Elk. As Elk really does feel like the hope right now. We talk so much about Bin, we talk so much about Knight, but Elk is the one here playing this on-hit Varus and has the 4 early kills.
Oh, a great repulse by Bin.
The idea there being that the silence comes through. Ooh, Flandre now the one.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Flandre gets out of this one. He's already used the skip and slash. There's the Impale follow-up. Knight gets his 2nd, and BLG continue to punch back.
BLG do punch back, but again, it's the towers now. So we saw them get that tower top side low. Flandre finished that off. That's first tower. That was Boots. Now they get another tower on the other side of the map. AL are constantly pushing. So even though BLG are finding picks, are finding fights, it's always at the cost of something else. And it feels like BLG should be the ones ahead in gold, but it's AL with the over 1K gold lead here. And quietly, Sivert getting very strong.
I mean, if BLG could have gotten this extra dragon, at the very least they could have bought a little bit more time. relied on the fact that they have these strong side lanes, but AL put a lot of focus on securing these outer towers, and that's where a lot of this additional gold is coming from. The good news for BLG, though, is Knight getting some solo time on the top side of the map. He will secure a tower for himself. You can see that with that first item completed, moving away from the rocket belt and going for a little bit more burst damage, that assassination tool that is super valuable in those 1v1s and on the side lane. Flandre trying to defend the tower.
BLG are going to collapse, though. Ishtal's impact will get Flandre into the wall. Hope popping the on the hunt to try and get Flandre out. There's a chain of corruption follow-up. TP coming in by Bin as they turn all their attention onto Flandre. Bin will take one, put into the bailout, but won't be able to be revived. And now the chase continues for anyone's legend. Beige1 running for the hills. Knight and Elk, can you escape the clutches of Tarzan? Good flash away, cease and desist. Available, though, for the buys. They continue to chase forward. Hope flashes in, and Tarzan lives. A double for Hope in the end. AL clean up the fight.
BLG sent 5 top, but it is AL standing strong here, playing out the fight incredibly well. Hope was just cooking them on that one. BLG now so far behind off of this fight.
You hit the nail on the head, Azale. Hope's positioning was fantastic. He was in a 2 versus 5, and he threw the ultimate out, not as a defensive measure, but to be ready for the arrival of his team to say, we are ready to turn this fight around. BLG committed everything to getting that pick onto Flandre, but it cost them so much.
Beige1 going forward here. Hope once again putting the damage down. Impale was dodged, and the bailout just gives him time to watch him die. Shanks now unstoppable, 5-1 on this Annie.
The spent flash just adding insult to injury there as Beige1 flashed out with that bailout. But the disintegrate followed, knocked him down, and that is a big...
Still, of course, the LCK to work through here. It's a grudge match for the LPL. Have been on the losing side of that too many times in the last few years. And their hopes seem to rest now on anyone's legend.
I will say that if AL do make it through this series, they will be a new challenger to the many LPL teams that have faced
In the
T1.
mid lane, Flandre is not. He's pushing out through bot.
And you can feel the desperation sinking in a little bit when you're spending flash ult to hopefully get a pick on a Blitzcrank. And he just has the perfect Mikhails.
There's a hook onto On. Hope opens up and will take down On. Tarzan jumping forward as well. Ishtal's impact will lock him against the wall, the Impale as well. And Tarzan will fall. Flandre coming in, and there's no one protecting the back line. Knight has to dash away, but Shanks now dominating. Elk snipped away by Flandre. Bin trying to do anything he can to survive. Love the positioning here from On, waiting to see if someone oversteps. TP behind, there's the handshake. Beige1 looking for the chase here onto Kyle. Good static field will stop the channel. Knight trying to get in from the side. Tarzan shadowing Bin, marking him, making sure he can't get in. The chain of corruption, and Bin is deleted. On next up here for anyone's legend. They'll find 2. It's a bloodbath so far. BLG are cooked as AL clean them up. The flash forward from Shanks will find the stun, and the Knight must bow to Shanks. Elk chased away. Nothing he can do. Shattered and bruised. BLG can...
They set up for a collapse onto Kyle, but it ends in disaster.
Yeah, and Hope had base. That's why he was late to the fight, but he shows up with the 3rd item, the Infinity Edge completed, and you knew as soon as he arrived, it was curtains for BLG. They try to find a pick there.
As well, it just becomes a mountainous, a monstrous task now for BLG.
Tarzan looking at a faded rematch against T1. The opportunity to get his revenge as AL take their 2nd dragon of the game.
The Sivert feels like he has barely stepped a foot wrong as this duo have been absolutely incredible.
Damage percentage, just incredible. The ult goes in.
Look for the cease and desist, and immediately they jump onto Beige1. No real escape for him. Meanwhile, Hope has been caught by On. Knight gets him! A grand in the pocket of Knight. He's found his payday, but can BLG find the fight? Tarzan gets one in response, but Knight answers with another. Shanks is down as Bin will snip him. Flandre trying to fight the 2v1, but Elk still stands! Somehow, from somewhere, BLG find the fight!
BLG are not down and out just yet. An impressive team fight comes through. They close the gold gap just like that, and they're setting their sights on the Baron.
They can do it. They can absolutely do it. It's an on-hit Varus here. Knight just needs to tank it up, and they will eventually be able to knock this down. No one's going to be respawning in time, and Hope this time does get caught on the way out. Actually, can they? This is getting a bit risky.
Knight jumping back in. Doesn't have the Riftmaker for any of that extra healing. Elk can now tank it, and they should be able to get it with those blighted quiver stacks. Knight almost dies. Elk secures it for BLG. Will be on tread through BLG. They've started up the Drake, looking for their second of the game, and anyone's legend are not answering the call. Instead, they'll clear out their own jungle. They'll make sure they have the mid lane prio. Baron has fallen off. AL actually
but Shanks could be in trouble.
Shanks jumped on by Beishwan, puts the Tibbers down, gets the stun. Knight with the chase. Beishwan, the Impale going wide. Tarzan down to half HP, but the Storm Surge just assassinates the Annie. Shanks down now as AL have to defend us 4.
It's an easy execution as BLG find the lone target in a side lane. The damage from Knight was lethal as the Baron is begun.
IL was looking for that hook. Gets it onto Beishwan. The static field down as well as Beishwan tries to heal up with that shield, but he just can't. Hope begins to open up. Hostile takeover coming out. Vault breaker away by Tarzan. The needle work from BLG just for the slow.
But the perfect positioning by Kyle there. He hits the hook, he stops the Baron, and an instant McHale's there on Flandre as he gets hit by the hostile takeover. Beishwan lost track of the fact that he could have got hit by that angle, and now Kyle's looking.
Kyle flashes forward, doesn't land the hook. The tower falls as the bailout on Bin would bring him back if he did fall. Has that G8 on his shoulders. AL able to defend, no further push coming out from BLG. The Drake up in 50 seconds.
That's just
TP
disastrous
into the
though.
Baron.
For BLG, losing your jungler there, exactly, because now they can start the counter Baron. Your Beishwan just needed to stay on the other side of the Baron, not allow Kyle to get that angle, but now it is AL here on the Baron, and it's a TP coming in from Bin. They're looking to contest.
It all comes down to this. You have to feel every hope and every wish for BLG to take it into the lower bracket finals. The arrows are landing. Kyle down to half HP. Knight pops a stopwatch, but he's basically got nothing. Still goes in with the perfect execution, manages to get a kill. The Baron over to Tarzan. On's gonna get shot down. It's Bin and Knight, the last two standing. Tarzan with the GA will be resurrected. Shanks on the chase, the needles for the slow. Bin trying to get away with that. The Baron for anyone's legend. The Red Bull Baron power play currently sitting at 3K. We saw BLG get a Baron and delay the game, only got about 2K out of it. AL will want a lot more. Flandre is answering the wave on the top side, now has his Seeker's Arm Guard complete. 4 items as well on Shanks.
See if he wants to go back for a reset. They're looking for Flandre.
The challenge down onto Flandre, immediately dashes in. Flandre will skip and slash across the wall. Hope trying to position well here. BLG will force Flandre down to half HP. He does have the TP to rejoin the fight. But BLG showing if they're given a second with that Gwen, she can be deleted.
And that was incredibly bold there from
AL
Bin.
on Soul Point, but not setting up around it at all.
Bin could just solo it though. AL are very heavily committed towards the top side of the map, so we'll see if Bin wants to go over to it or if he's too worried about a potential engage here.
He's gonna go, there's the on the hunt, immediately Vault breaker forward, there's a hook back as well, and On is down before he can pop the hostile takeover. AL will turn their eyes towards the Baron and BLG. Are you going to fight this? Beishwan and Knight stepping in. Elk there as well, but it looks like BLG will give up the Ghost to take the Drake, lose the Baron.
Exactly, you know they're not going to fight it because Bin is on that dragon, soloing it down. They do not get Soul, but at least they deny Soul. Explosive engage there, finds the Renata, and now the question is, can you hold the line here against the Baron buff?
Hope's ultimate comes off cooldown very quickly, and they're already making their way towards that top tower. AL with the Baron at their backs. Shanks going to answer mid-wave. This tower is not long for this world. An inhibitor soon to follow.
BLG just going to funnel down mid, try and keep that wave as far away as possible. Shanks has the teleport, but isn't...
And we saw how fast that top lane inhibitor tower went down. Bin is on the side, but this tower is getting quite low.
3 autos and it's down to half HP. The Chain of Corruption, a whisker away from finding Hope. He does, of course, still have that spell shield and the Mikhails. Flandre takes the tier 2 on the bottom side. BLG unable really to defend as Hope using the Bloodthirster shield will just tank up the tower. BLG not pulling the trigger yet. Have lost an inhibitor tower in mid. Flandre with double cannon minions down towards the bottom side. Bin almost assassinated. The hostile takeover coming out as well as Tarzan dashes in. The pull back onto Beishwan, not the target AR would want, but with Tibbers joining the party, anyone's legend see the win in their eyes.
BLG, they have to get back to base. They need to regenerate the health bars. The Nexus towers are all that stand left as the base falls apart. Bin goes in.
Looks for Tarzan, but Tarzan goes in with a cease and desist. There's still a Guardian Angel here for Bin, but the bailout will bring it back first. On ignited and will fall to Flandre. Knight pops the stopwatch, but might just go pop afterwards. Bin dashing up towards the top side. Knight able to escape for now, but Beishwan is sacrificing himself for his mid laner. Elk gonna go to the GA under the tower, and I don't think there's an Angel listening as Elk is mown down. The LPL is conquered. The LCK awaits. Anyone's legend claimed.